Once upon a time in a faraway land, there lived a little girl who loved the sunrise more than anything in the world. Every morning she would wake up before sunrise, open her bedroom window and say hello to the first birds, chirping their good morning songs. She'd watch as the sky went from dark to blue, spotted with fluffy white clouds. And then she would see the sun peek over the horizon and paint the world in golden light. It was her favorite part of every single day. But one morning, something strange happened. The sun simply didn't rise. Little Rosie looked out of her window, but all she could see was dark gray clouds covering the sky. The birds were nowhere to be seen, and there wasn't a sliver of gold to be found anywhere. What's happening? She wondered aloud. As the hours passed and the sky remained dark, the animals began to get very worried. Mrs. Hen clucked nervously, pacing back and forth in her coop. Mr. Donkey brayed loudly from his stable, and even the usually calm Mr. Bull was seen stamping his hooves and bellowing into the sky. Little Rosie couldn't bear to see them so upset, so she did the only thing she could think of. She set off on an adventure to find the sun and bring it back. She walked past Farmer Joe's field where he was busy collecting eggs from under Mrs. Hen's feathered bottom. "Have you seen the sun, Mr. Farmer?" she asked. "I haven't," he replied, shaking his head. "It's never been this dark this late in the day before. Something must be wrong." So little Rosie continued on her way, passing by Mr. Donkey's stable, where she gave him a reassuring pat on the backside. Then she went to visit Mr. Bull, who was still looking very worried. "Please, Mr. Bull," she said, "you're strong enough to pull my cart. Will you help me find the sun and bring it back?" Mr. Bull thought for a moment. He knew that if they didn't do something quickly, the other animals would start panicking. So he agreed to help. Together, little Rosie and Mr. Bull pulled her cart through the village, asking everyone if they had seen the sun. But everyone shook their heads. They had never seen anything like this before. And just when they were about to lose hope, they heard a familiar voice call out, "Whoa there, Mr. Bull." They turned around and saw Old Man Willow standing at the edge of the forest. "Old Man Willow, have you seen the sun?" asked little Rosie. "Why, yes," he replied, chuckling to himself. "I saw it go into the forest a while ago." "Did it say where it was going?" asked little Rosie. Old Man Willow shook his head. "No, but I think I can take you to it." And with that, he led them deep into the woods. After walking for what seemed like hours, they finally came across a clearing. And in the middle of the clearing was a giant oak tree. And under the oak tree sat the sun. But it wasn't just any old sun. It was a living, breathing creature, just like the animals and little Rosie. And it was fast asleep. Little Rosie couldn't believe her eyes. The sun was just sitting there, snoring softly and blocking the entire sky with its giant flaming body. "Excuse me," she said politely, "but we need you to rise up and let the light shine through." The sun cracked open one of its fiery eyes and glared at her. "I don't want to," it said in a grumpy voice. "Can't I sleep in just one day? I've been working too hard lately and I need my beauty sleep." Little Rosie tried to explain that the animals were worried and that the world needed sunlight, but the sun just waved its fiery hand dismissively. "Go away, child. I don't want to talk about it." So little Rosie did the only thing she could think of. She started tickling the sun with some leaves she had gathered from Old Man Willow's tree. At first, the sun just swatted her hand away, but then it started giggling uncontrollably. "Stop it, you silly child," it said, wiping tears of joy from its eyes. "You're too funny. I haven't laughed this hard in ages." Little Rosie kept tickling the sun as it told her funny stories about the stars and the moon and the clouds. And before long, the sun was laughing so hard that it accidentally unleashed a burst of energy, sending a bright beam of light shooting into the sky. Little Rosie and the animals watched in awe as the sun rose higher and higher, bathing the world in warm, golden light. The birds came out of their hiding holes, chirping excitedly. The flowers opened their petals to greet the day, and Mr. Bull and the other animals returned home, their worries forgotten. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, little Rosie went back to her room. She crawled under her blankets, snuggled with her teddy bear, and fell fast asleep, dreaming of faraway lands and adventures with the sun. When she woke up again, the room was filled with the soft glow of daylight. She went to her window and watched as the sun painted the sky with hues of pink and orange. It was the most beautiful sunrise she had ever seen. And as she stood there taking it all in, she knew that her adventure had not only saved the day, but had also made her the best friend of the sun. From that day on, whenever the sun threatened to sleep in again, little Rosie would just have to go back into the woods, climb up Old Man Willow's tree, and tickle the sun until it burst out laughing. The animals never forgot the day the sun overslept, but they also never had another worry about the darkness lasting too long, for they knew that as long as little Rosie was around, the sun would always rise again. Now, here's the thing. You see, the sun is kind of like a big ball of gas, and when it's not shining, it doesn't really go anywhere. I mean, it's not like it takes vacations or anything. It is just that sometimes it gets a little lazy and doesn't feel like giving off light and heat. And when that happens, things can get pretty dark and chilly out there. But you know what? It's okay to be lazy sometimes. We all need a break now and then. But it's also important to remember that we can't stay in our pajamas forever. Eventually, we have to get up and face the day, no matter how much we might want to stay in bed. And that goes for the sun too. Sure, it's nice to take a break and relax every once in a while. But the sun knows that it has a job to do. It's responsible for giving light and heat to the entire planet. And if it doesn't do its job, things can get pretty messed up pretty fast. So the next time you're feeling a little lazy, just remember the sun, because even the sun can't sleep in forever. It's just not its style.